mastermind. Run, run, Rudolph. Randolph ain't too far behind. Run, run, Rudolph. Santa's gotta make it.
Welcome back. We're right here in the heart of the Riverbend, downtown Alton, on this Christmas Friday morning, and I got Miss. You got to help me with this here, Miss Kankakee.
Kankakee, yes, Miss Kankakee.
Sydney.
You can say Miss K.
Oh, I like that a little bit better for me. Sydney Daniel is joining me now, winner of the competition. How cool is this? How has this ride been for you?
It's been absolutely amazing. It's my first year competing in the Miss America organization. I competed at Capital City. I took home a handful of awards, went to Miss Kankakee hoping to get a ticket to Miss Illinois, and accomplished my mission.
That is so cool. And, take us through that. So how do these competitions work? So the next step is Miss Illinois. Then after that, is it Miss America?
Yeah, Miss America of next December. So we just crowned a queen for the upcoming year. But these competitions work with a local, a state, and then the national level. So Illinois has several local titles: Capital City, Springfield, Chicago, Miss Southern Illinois, and then I am Miss Kankakee. And all of us young women are basically preparing to compete for Miss Illinois in June 6th through the 10th in Marion. And then the winner there will go on to Miss America next December.
Wow. And take us through this real quick. So what's so when you compete for Miss Kankakee, how many towns does that incorporate? I didn't know if you said that or yet or not. Can anyone compete in any division, or do you have to be in a certain geographical location?
So the great thing about my title is it was an open competition. So I actually reside in Caseyville, Illinois, and go to Southern Illinois and Edwardsville. So I'm super blessed to have been able to compete for an open title, but there are other titles that have geographical and area code restrictions. So like Miss Peoria, you must reside there. Southern Illinois, you have to be in the 618. So there's a lot of different things that go into each title, but for my competition, it was open to anyone within the state attending education or working full-time.
And take us through just kind of the aspects of the competitions, because it's a really interesting topic. What goes into that? And I know that you have your own platform and things that are important to you, and that you'd like to showcase in these competitions. How does that kind of work? What's the breakdown there?
Yeah, so there's different phases of competition. It starts with an interview with a panel of judges that'll be judging you through the evening. It's actually my favorite part of the competition, because you really get to showcase your personality, your fun facts, your platform, and what your plans are if given the title. There's also an evening gown competition. This has a onstage question for the Miss contestants, which is always kind of based off of what the next question would be in your interview when time comes up, and that's given to you by the judges. We also have talent, which is a big portion of the score. Mine's dance, but girls do anything from monologues, singing, violin. I mean, you really can see it all, especially on the Miss America stage, coming from all different geographical regions. And then we also have social impact initiative pitch. And so that's about 30 seconds of where I kind of give you an insight of what I'm doing as my title and as a competitor to kind of better our society.
Absolutely. And take us through that. What's the platform? I'm on pins and needles now.
Yeah, my platform is Time to Turn Off. It's social media education and distracted driving initiative.
Ooh.
So my passion really is behind how we really need to put our phones down while we're driving. And I know we're all guilty of this. I'm guilty of it. It's kind of one of those addictions that has come up in our century. We didn't have these problems back in the 90s, the 80s. And right now, every 9 out of 10 teenagers have admitted to distracted driving. And if we start younger, if we start when they're getting their license, and we make sure that we're implementing how to put our phones down, we can really make a difference in our society.
I would also like to point out the 1 out of 10 that said they don't were lying on the survey. I just want to throw that out there. I don't like calling people liars, but the guy ain't being truthful. Take us through this. So what's your experience with this? I mean, you raised some great points, and, we know that it's become a major issue. Has it affected your day-to-day life, or is there something that hits home whenever you're driving this message across?
Yeah, so back before I was even thought of, before I had even set foot on this earth, my great aunt lost her only child to a car incident that could have been done by distracted driving initiative if we had more education back then. The driver was distracted, and unfortunately, her daughter lost her life. So it kind of hits home with the family. But I've learned a lot with talking with people locally, people on the state level, and even reaching out via email, text message, online platforms that almost everybody knows somebody or has personally been affected by distracted driving. And that can be texting and driving, that can be being on your cell phone, eating, that can be distracting at times. Almost anything in your car that you're not got both hands on the wheel and paying attention to what you're going for can be counted as distracted driving.
Well, right. And see, that's what I think is such an important topic too, because so many times I think we automatically assume distracted driving means being on your phone. And heck, I see people eating breakfast while they're driving on 270. I think that kind of falls along the lines of distracted driving. Have you noticed any type of measures that are being taken to help combat this, and that you're kind of seeing and wanting to get behind?
I mean, we all see those fun road signs that
Right.
have the catchy puns that kind of encourage you to put your phone down. But I think we can really go a step further than that and get involved with online initiatives, because we really got to meet people where they're already active, and everyone is active online. And I know that kind of contradicts itself, because I'm telling you it's time to turn off, but I'm not telling you to turn off completely. I'm just saying that there are complete times to turn off. So I really want to get involved with like IDOT and the state police, and especially like the upcoming initiatives like in college for, I guess, criminal justice majors, and how we can really implement that into jobs going forward from this year.
Well, and it to me, it seems like this competition, if you do so win, and even what you've been able to accomplish so far, is putting you in a position to achieve some of those initiatives, achieve some of those ideas and your goals. How has that been? Just kind of after the initial competition, you're gearing up in June for Miss Illinois. How has it been in this kind of time period of getting some of these things accomplished and hearing people reach out?
Yeah. So the best thing about the Miss America organization is it's more of a scholarship competition. It's more of a social impact initiative competition. It's not about walking around and being the most beautiful person on stage, because everyone's beautiful in their own way. It's more about what you're doing to better the world around you. And since being crowned Miss Kankakee, my directors and the state board have really been helpful of giving me the correct contacts, setting me up for meetings, appearances to really further my initiative. Because when it comes to June, I want to be ready for the job of Miss Illinois. I don't want to be picked as Miss Illinois and then have to prepare to do the job. I want to walk in on the 6th of June and say, I'm here, I'm ready, and I have the qualifications and the team behind me to really step this forward on a state level, and then hopefully at a national level 6 months later.
Absolutely. And that's what's so cool about this. And take us through this. So once you, I'm just going to assume, listen, I hate to, be the predictor here, but I'm going to assume that you win Miss Illinois in June, because I love the platform. I think you have a great personality. Life's good there, but what afterwards, while you're gearing up towards the next step, what's your kind of title? What's your description in that role, winning the competition? What's that look like afterwards?
Yeah. So I mean, that's how we're kind of speaking into existence. When crowned Illinois, you have 6 months exactly to basically gear up for Miss America.
Wow.
That involves kind of going out on a state level and getting my initiative into hopefully every county school driving program. When I grew up, we didn't have driver's ed. So that's something that really hits home with me. That is super important in the school system. So I really want to initiate that across the state and put time to turn off into all those classrooms before heading off to a national level to hopefully do the same.
So I'm not to cut you off here a little bit, but when you just said that, you didn't have driver's ed at your school?
Yeah. So I'm actually a military kid. So I lived between a few states, born down in Florida, graduated high school in Tennessee, like kind of grew up in Kentucky / here. In Tennessee, there's no driving program in the school system.
No way. Oh, yeah. That's an issue. That could affect us in the later rounds.
Yeah, if you ever drive south, you can definitely tell a difference. And I will say my friends, my family, because I've been in Illinois for so long, but I learned to drive down in Tennessee, they like to give me a hard time about my bad driving habits.
That's fantastic. And I want to ask you, I didn't know that you were a military kid. I wasn't personally, but, my uncle was a lieutenant commander in the Navy, and I know that him with his daughters and wife traveling, Guam to West Virginia and all over the country. How did that put you, do you think that helped you with what you're doing now and competing for, being in that type of lifestyle?
I definitely think it did. I mean, I've interacted with so many people, and my dad being in the special forces, we were
Oh,
stationed
wow.
at the same base for the longest time. So I wasn't really moving around at that point, but I was watching other people move through. So I have friends everywhere. I mean, my dad's all the way out in Oregon right now. So I have
Wow.
seen all walks of life. I've seen personalities, beliefs, and I think that really puts me in a position to understand others and then understand my own beliefs even more. Because if you're going to talk to other people about what you believe in or what you're passionate about, you got to really like focus and go home
Right.
with it instead of just kind of scratching the surface.
Yeah, it's not, you hit it right on the head, because so many times, and just, throwing this out there, when I was doing a little bit of the consultant stuff, someone would come up and they would tell me about something they're passionate about. But like you said, it's like if you're only, or, when you're talking about it and it comes off as a suggestion, maybe you aren't as passionate about it as you think you are. But with you, I mean, you have everything bullet pointed down here. And what I think is kind of cool, and I don't know if you've had this opportunity yet, is when, there's a chance for a younger girl that really is just admires what you guys do in these competitions, that here's your message. Have you had a conversation with an individual yet that kind of seems similar to what I just described?
Yes, and that's one of my favorite parts about it. Prior to this, I was the Illinois Festival Queen, and I really
Oh,
kind of ran home there with I wanted to make a difference in the young girls in our community because back then I didn't have a social impact initiative. And now that I do, I really like to speak to kids and on a more younger level, non-drivers, I kind of focus home on the time to turn off doing other things outside of the screen, not being just the iPad kid. And the best part about my title is I get to select a princess to go to state with me. And I selected a young girl from church. And it's one of the best experiences. And especially since I get to pick her so early on, it's like a mentorship over these next 6 months. And she gets to go do things with me. And we get to hang out and really kind of start her at 8, 9 years old to become even a better woman than I am at 24.
that's got to be special. I mean, that is really just got to make your spine tingle a little bit. That is so cool. And I got to ask you, how has the reception been around your social circle, around the family, ever since kind of taken the first step towards Miss Illinois? Got that down. Now we're getting ready towards June. Have you got a lot of support there too?
My family is over the moon. It was actually kind of like perfect divine timing. My dad was in town when I won the title. So my dad is
Oh,
already
cool.
planning to come back because I mean he's 2,000 miles away. So he'll be
Right.
back in June to watch me compete. But my grandparents, my aunt, my uncle, all my cousins that are here have been super supportive. They're ready to drive me in parades. They're ready to take me to appearances. I love having a chaperone because it just kind of helps, especially when
Right.
it's like a classroom full of kids and I can't give everybody my attention at every single moment. So they're super awesome. They're great with sponsorships, with fundraisers, with dress shopping, like anything and everything. My family is ready for me to be crowned Miss Illinois.
Right. And that is, I think, to me, the biggest part of this is having that support system, and really having that, just behind you. Got to ask you this question, because I'm not too familiar with this. I'm learning as we're going here. What's the next 6 months look like? What's your preparation look like for the Miss Illinois competition? Because, I'm a soccer player, so I'm thinking, I would, getting ready for a state title, getting in the gym, getting some stuff done over on that aspect. But for you, what's it look like?
Yeah, and I can kind of put it in a soccer standpoint. I played it growing up.
Oh,
So
cool. Yeah.
I'm also hitting the gym because I'm really trying to, I guess, in a way, beef up my talent. I grew up as a competitive dancer. I cheered throughout college, but after college, you kind of lose those muscles that you worked in twice a day, every day with practice. So I'm going to the gym a lot. I've got lots of dance practice, kind of going through the motions to really gear up my talent since it's such a big part of the competition. But my favorite part is the interview. And so I'm really working on preparing my platform, knowing the statistics, having the experiences over the 6 months that I can tell the judges that I'm ready to make a difference and the difference I'm already making.
Right.
And we're kind of going through mock interviews, staying up on social events, political events, worldly events, because really the interviews all hands on deck, anything can go. So they could ask me anything they want, and I want to be prepared to be the best candidate for the position.
That is incredible. And I mean, it's so interesting because, so many times we see the pictures or we'll see the news releases after, the fact, but the build up towards it is something that's not really talked about as much. And you guys, I mean, you're going to be doing a lot of hard work and already have to get ready for this. And I can only imagine after, let's just say, speak, in the, I guess for the future tense, when you do win Miss Illinois, I mean, I guess it's even harder work after that to compare for Miss America.
Yeah, we actually call it a job.
Well, it has to be.
Job of Miss Illinois, the
Right.
job of Miss America, because you have a purpose. I mean, there's an entire job description written around the position to prepare, to impact, to serve, and to really like go forward and make a difference in our communities, our state, and then Miss America as our nation.
Wow. And I mean, it's just so neat. So what else would you like for us to, is there a way for us to help you on this kind of the track towards Miss Illinois? I mean, what can we do for you down here in the 618?
Yeah, my big thing right now is I really want to get into the school systems, whether it be K through 5, 5 through 8, 8 like and above. Even in the college level, I'd really like to get into those classrooms. I have books to share. I have PowerPoints and presentations that can be presented, and I want to really impact those that are in my local community because I know if I can get into the local schools, get into those classrooms here, the word will spread, and that can only grow from there. And then as going forth for Miss Illinois, I have the opportunity to just take that to a state level and go to counties and school districts that I haven't seen before and impact those students because I know that it's an educational purpose that can serve anyone and everyone.
Absolutely. And how can we reach out? If we were interested in helping this campaign, maybe a school district wants to reach out. I know we have a lot in the Alton School District that watch the show. If they wanted to reach out to you, what's the contact that's best for you?
Yeah, so the best way to reach me, honestly, would be through my social media. So not time to turn off. But my personal is @_Sydney Daniel. And then my pageant page is @Miss Kankakee. And both are linked on both pages. So no matter where you go, you'll find my email, you'll find my contact. And I'm ready to come to your classrooms. I'm ready to come to your events, your organizations, your clubs, and kind of share my knowledge and then gain knowledge from you guys. Because the best thing I love about going into classrooms, what I love about visiting organizations, churches, whatever it may be, I always end my experience by asking them to give me a mock interview. So whether that be in a kindergarten classroom and having them just drill me with those crazy creative questions, or being in a high school library and them hit me with the hard stuff, it really prepares me because you never know who's sitting on that board of judges. You never know their background. And so it's really diverse going into a school, and seeing it on all levels really helps me prepare.
Well, and that's what's so cool about this because, so many times I think we forget about this aspect of the competition, which is, to me, the most important. I mean, you're helping spread a message out there, and it seems like you have a lot of great material to really drive that point home. Take us through that. I mean, so you said you have some presentations, and I know that I told you I told you a time, but maybe we're going a little bit over the time right now, but that's okay because this is really cool. What are some of the topics like with the presentations that you would bring into the schools? Because this is neat.
Yeah. So for my older kids, those that are 14, 15 and above, because those are my going to be drivers,
Right.
the learning to drive, and the ones that are already driving, it's really focusing on distracted driving, the types of distracted driving, the initiatives that you can put forth on your device and in your vehicle and in your just daily habits to make that possible to avoid. And then kind of all of my recommendations. And then I also have like a little quiz, fun thing at the end
Nice.
to get everybody involved to see how much they were paying attention to my statistics, little tidbits I put in. So that's kind of what I do for older kids. But for my younger kids, I have a book that I love to read called Stick and Stone, and it's kind of about cyberbullying. And I got that inspiration from the National Cyber Smile Foundation. It's a great book, super simple to read, gets kids involved. But my presentation that goes along with that is, hey, you may have a phone in third grade, which I didn't get one till I was in high school.
Right.
But it's more of a reality that younger and younger kids are getting a phone, and we need to educate them about being nice online, being like purposeful online, and really using their own little platform to make a difference in their little students' lives, and that they can be a good community online instead of having that like harsh reality that we face every day.
Absolutely. That is so important. A couple more questions for you. The one that I think is kind of just a fun one is take us through maybe one of the stories along the trail becoming Miss Kankakee and on the way to being Miss Illinois. Has there been one of those little highlights of the journey that might have been something that's just going to stick with you?
Yeah, I went to a classroom in Meadowbrook, so that's pretty close to home. And I had a student, she wanted to wear my crown so bad. So I gave her my crown, let her wear it. And like one of those things is like a goosebump moment. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because you just see their eyes light up and they really want to talk about it. And she looked at me and she said, "I won't bully." It's just a simple sentence from like an 8-year-old, but she's like, "I have been bullied. I'm not going to bully." And I was able to sit down and like talk to her for a few minutes, just one on one, while the teacher like took control of her classroom. But then my teacher emailed me afterwards and she was like, "You really hit home with her because we've had a lot of issues." And just to see like her light up when she's had a lot of issues within the school with cyberbullying or bullying in itself really just makes a difference. And it makes me want to drive home my initiative even more. It makes me want to touch more kids' lives. It makes me want to go out into the state. It makes me want to just cross the river over into Missouri and start doing things.
I couldn't even imagine that. And one last one for you. I don't know if this happened to you. It's just something I thought of because in my soccer stuff and, now I'm a pro wrestler and, getting told what to do by people that probably have no experience in wrestling or soccer. But sometimes their feedback actually works, if you know what I'm saying. Where maybe it's grandma, telling me that I needed to do something different on the soccer field. I'm going, yeah, right. And then I do it going, okay, she was right. Has that happened to you with your family yet? Have they told you a critique and you go, I don't know about that, and then it worked?
Oh, yes. So my boyfriend is the guy for the interview. He's a teacher. He really kind of drives home like where I could like do my diction a little better, how my response could be when I'm going too long. Grandma's great for when we go shopping because she's brutally honest. And so is my 9-year-old cousin. Nothing's more honest than a 9-year-old little boy. He will straight up tell me, "This is not for you." And I have to listen because, at least he's being honest. But family has great feedback, but sometimes I take it with a grain of salt.
Well, that's true, too. Sydney, I really think it's going to go well for you in June. If you have anything you want to get off your chest and out there to the public before then, you're more than welcome back here on The Daily Show. And for any and all updates, what's that Facebook page and how can we get involved with your platform?
Yeah, check out Facebook, Miss Kankakee 2023, Sydney Daniel. You can find me on Instagram at _ Sydney Daniel or at Miss Kankakee. Follow me, email me, hit me up. I'm ready to come and serve for you guys.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for your time and have a great, great Christmas.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been great, and have holidays. I can't talk.
It's okay. Honestly, I can't either, and I get paid to talk, so it's a little bit of an issue sometimes, but I just kind of stumble through it, Sydney, you were great. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. More of our daily show rolls around right after this on this Christmas Friday in downtown Alton.